Hi guys, it's Tiffany. I'm back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I make my basic sourdough bread, like a bowl of bread. This is my basic recipe. I make it almost every week, and it is the recipe that I base a lot of my flavored recipes off of. So I just start with this one, and then I'll show you in another video how we add in mix-ins. But today it's just going to be the basic one, so if that's something that you're into, stick around and I'll show you how to do it. So just like any good sourdough recipe, you're going to start with your starter. You want your starter to be strong, active, healthy, and have those gluten structures that you can see there, those bubbly looking things. So you'll add that to a bowl. I measure everything on a kitchen scale. I think that's just easier and more accurate, and I've had a lot of success doing that. I'll also include a printable copy of this recipe below if you want to follow along and make it yourself. Next, you're going to add your water. I do the same, just measure it on my kitchen scale. I use filtered water from my fridge. Some people would tell you not to do that, but it's always worked for me. So I just add that. Now once the water is added and you get it to the right measurement, you're going to mix the starter and the water together. You're looking for it to get milky and white and just get out any big lumps or clumps. That way everything gets incorporated into the flour better. So now you'll just measure out your flour, add that to a bowl. I keep my flour in a 5-gallon bucket, so I'll just use this little scoop it out. And like I said, I'll have all the measurements in a recipe below. So you'll do that. You'll see me just pick a little bit off the top to get the exact measurement that I want. So now you'll just mix everything together. You're just looking for the water to absorb the flour. Your dough will be kind of shaggy and it won't really look like a bread dough or anything yet, and that's okay. You just want to get it to start autolysing and absorbing all of that flour. So you'll just cover your bowl with a wet kitchen towel or some plastic wrap and set it to the side for about 30 minutes. While that's sitting, I will always go ahead and feed my starter and just get it ready for the next time that I need it. I use a kitchen scale for this as well. Super simple and easy. I just do the same measure or same amount of water and flour. You'll see me do that here. I always start with my water. I almost started with my flour there. I think it's much easier to do the water first and then match the flour to it, because it's easier to take the flour out than it is the water, so that's what I do. And I don't really follow any certain number to add each time. I just kind of go by how much I've taken out. I just like to make sourdough simple, and it's worked so far for me. I make beautiful loaves of bread, so I think it can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. So you'll just see me stir it around here, and it's kind of the same thing. You just want all that flour to be wet and absorbed by the water and the starter liquid. So you'll see me put these little metal clips on my lid. I do that when I'm putting my starter in the fridge. If I'm not, I just sit the lid on it and I'll put a little kitchen towel over it to keep it warm. So I've got my extra salt and water to add to the dough, and you'll just see me do that here. The extra water is just to make sure the salt dissolves and gets incorporated into the dough. So you just put your salt in there, then add your water, and you'll just stir everything around again. And you'll see it starting to kind of form together just a little bit. And it'll look even better here in about an hour. So you want to get that salt incorporated really well. So after you've let your dough sit with the salt, you're going to do your stretch and folds. I usually do about 3 or 4, just depending on how much time I have. This was about the 3rd stretch and fold with this bread, and you can see it's starting to fold into a nice round ball It's getting bouncy, all the stuff's coming together, and that's what you want. So now you're ready to shape your loaf. You'll just take it and you put some flour. I use a Silpat mat just to make cleanup a little bit easier, but you can do it certainly right on your counter. I put a little bit of flour and then we'll get the dough down there. You can see that the dough has risen. It's got some nice bubbles. That's exactly what you want it to look like. So we'll get it ready to shape. It's a really wet, sticky dough. I also want to mention that I let my dough rise for about 8 hours. You just want to let it rise until it's doubled in size, and sometimes that can take 6 hours, it can take 8 hours. It just depends on how warm your house is and how active your starter is. There's a lot of different ways you can stretch your dough and fold it out. I just try to get mine into a rough rectangle, so I'll just kind of pull it and flip it around, kind of press on it, just get it into, like I said, a rough rectangle. It's not hard to do. This dough is very stretchy, and then I kind of fold it in on itself on each side, you'll see there, and then roll it, and I'll roll it to get it up into a ball. And once it's in the ball, I use the push and pull away method. You can just keep rolling it in on itself if you want. There's many, like I said, there's many different ways, and you just have to find what your favorite way is. So I kind of roll it in on itself for a little bit, and then I will push it away from myself and pull it back. And this just helps create that really tight top so that you can cut your designs and you get that nice crust. We'll repeat the shape twice. You'll let it sit for 10 minutes and then repeat it a second time. You'll see that it's easier to do this time. The dough kind of remembers the way that you shaped it, so you'll just do it again. And after that, you'll get it into your proofing bowl. When you put your bread into your proofing bowl, you want to make sure you do the seam side up. You're going to stick that in your fridge and let it sit for about an hour, and then you'll get you a piece of parchment paper ready. And when you put it in the fridge, you want to cover it with some plastic wrap. So you got that nice, beautiful top. Sometimes it kind of sticks a little, but that's okay. It doesn't affect it at all. And I just kind of rub the flour into the dough. And then I have a lom here. You can use a knife if you have a really sharp one. I got this one on Amazon. It was very inexpensive. I'll link it below. And I like it a lot better. So I'm still working on getting good on cutting designs into the bread. I'm getting better, but it just takes time. And it doesn't affect the taste at all. The bread still tastes amazing, so. So you'll just have your oven already preheated to 450 with your Dutch oven inside. I preheat my Dutch oven inside of my oven so that it's hot too. And then you'll just pick it up and place it into the hot Dutch oven. So you'll just bake this bread covered for 25 to 35 minutes and then uncovered for 5 to 10 minutes, and you have this beautiful loaf of sourdough bread that has risen and is absolutely delicious. So if you like this video, just hit the subscribe button below, like it, share with your friends, leave me a comment, and I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll be back with another video, and I'll see you guys again soon.